It's 6:47 a.m. You're lying in bed. The alarm went off 2 minutes ago and you've been just lying here, dreading the moment you have to put your feet on the floor. Because you already know what's about to happen. You're going to swing your legs over the edge of the bed, you're going to stand up, and for the next 20 minutes, your knees are going to feel like rusted hinges on an old door. Stiff, crunchy, slow to bend, like they belong to someone 20 years older than you. So you sit on the edge of the bed first. You bend your knees a few times, slow circles. You feel that little crack, that grinding sound you've been pretending isn't there. Then you stand up, carefully, one hand on the dresser just in case. You take that first step, then another, and by the time you make it to the bathroom, you're walking like you're 80. Your husband watches you from the doorway, doesn't say anything. He stopped commenting about it a year ago, but he sees it. You see it in his eyes. By 7:30, the stiffness starts to ease up. By 8:30, you can almost walk normally again. By lunch, you've almost forgotten about it. Almost. But you know it's coming back tomorrow morning, and the morning after that, and the morning after that. You went to your doctor about it. You explained the stiffness, the crunching, how it takes a half hour just to feel human in the morning. He examined your knees for about 90 seconds, pressed a few spots, asked you to bend them, then he said the word, arthritis. He prescribed an anti-inflammatory, maybe glucosamine. Maybe he told you to lose some weight. Maybe he mentioned a knee replacement way down the road. He sent you home. You took the medication. You bought the supplements. You walked more. You did the stretches your physical therapist gave you, and nothing changed. The stiffness is still there, every single morning, like clockwork. So you accepted it. You told yourself, this is what 55 looks like. This is what 60 looks like. This is just what happens. I'm here to tell you something today. That diagnosis is probably wrong. What's happening to your knees every morning is most likely not arthritis. It's not bone on bone, it's not your cartilage wearing out, and it's definitely not, quote, just getting older. What's happening to your knees is something completely different, something your doctor never tested for, something that's been getting worse for years without anyone noticing. And the most frustrating part is, it's also something that can be reversed. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what's happening inside your knees while you sleep. You're going to understand why the first 20 minutes after waking are the worst. You're going to know the 4 hidden mistakes you're making every night that are making it dramatically worse. And I'm going to give you a simple 2-minute protocol you can do right in your bed before your feet even touch the floor that can change everything. But before I show you any of that, let me say something honest. If this is your first time on Symptom Cipher, welcome. I'm Dr. Mira. Every day on this channel, I take one symptom that doctors don't have time to properly explain, and I decode it for you. The real biology, the real cause, and the real fix. And the reason this channel exists is simple. Your doctor isn't a bad person, but your doctor is in a system that doesn't pay them to have long conversations. They get 8 minutes with you, maybe 12, then the next patient walks in. There's no billing code for, let me explain what's actually happening in your joints overnight. So they don't, they can't. That's where this channel comes in. I'm giving you the conversation your doctor wishes he could have with you. If that sounds like the kind of information you've been searching for, please do me one favor right now. Tap subscribe, hit the bell, because tomorrow's video is about another symptom, the brain fog you get every afternoon. And the real reason it's happening has absolutely nothing to do with what you ate for lunch. Okay, let's get into it. But first, a very important note. Everything I'm going to share with you is for educational purposes only. I'm not your doctor, so nothing I say should replace personalized medical advice from someone who's actually examining you. And please listen carefully. If you have knee pain that's sharp, severe, and getting worse, if your knee is hot, red, and swollen, if you can't put weight on it at all, if you have a fever along with the joint pain, stop watching this video right now. Call your doctor, go to urgent care. Those are red flag symptoms. They could mean infection, a tear, or something else that needs immediate attention. They are not what we're talking about today. What we are talking about is the kind of stiffness you get every morning. The kind that eases up after you move around. The kind your doctor calls arthritis, but treats like nothing. The chronic, low-grade, never fully going away kind. That is what we're decoding today. And always, please talk to your physician before making any changes to your routine, your diet, or your supplements. Okay, now let me show you what's actually happening inside your knees at night. I want you to imagine something with me. Inside your knee joint, in the space between your thigh bone and your shin bone, there's a thin layer of cartilage covering each surface. Cartilage is smooth, slippery, designed to glide. It's the reason your knees can bend 100 times a day without grinding apart. But cartilage doesn't get blood. That's the first thing most people don't know. Your cartilage has no blood vessels, 0. So how does it stay alive? How does it get oxygen and nutrients? How does it remove waste products? The answer is through a fluid called synovial fluid. Synovial fluid is the unsung hero of your knees. It's a thick, gel-like liquid that fills the space inside your knee joint. Think of it like motor oil for your joints. It lubricates the cartilage, it cushions the bones, it carries oxygen and nutrients to the cartilage cells, and it carries waste away. When synovial fluid is healthy and abundant, your knees feel smooth, quiet, easy to bend. You don't even think about them, they just work. But here's what happens after 50. Your synovial fluid changes. The body produces less of it, and the fluid you do have becomes thinner, less gel-like, less protective, less effective at delivering nutrients and removing waste. And here's the part nobody told you. Every night while you sleep, something specific happens to your synovial fluid. When you lie still for hours, your synovial fluid drains. It pools in the lowest parts of your joints. The fluid that's supposed to be cushioning the cartilage just sits there, doing nothing for 6, 7, 8 hours. Meanwhile, your cartilage, which has 0 blood supply, sits in a starved environment all night long. No new oxygen, no new nutrients, waste products accumulating. By 6 a.m., your cartilage is essentially dehydrated. The joint capsule is stiff. The fluid that should be lubricating the surfaces is somewhere else entirely. Then your alarm goes off. You swing your legs over the side of the bed, and for the next 20 minutes, your body is desperately trying to redistribute the synovial fluid, to rehydrate your cartilage, to get everything moving again. That's why your knees are stiff in the morning. That's the crunching. That's the slow first steps. It's not arthritis, it's not your cartilage wearing away. Your synovial fluid is simply not where it needs to be. According to research published in the journal Osteoarthritis and Cartilage in 2021, this overnight synovial drain is one of the most common and least diagnosed causes of morning joint stiffness in adults over 50. Most doctors don't test for it because there's no easy test. The fluid analysis requires drawing fluid directly from the knee. Most people will never have that done. But the symptoms are unmistakable once you know what to look for. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Your synovial fluid production is controlled by something called the synovial membrane. It's a thin layer of tissue lining the inside of your joint capsule. The synovial membrane makes the fluid. The synovial membrane refreshes the fluid, and the synovial membrane is incredibly responsive to 4 specific things: hydration levels, movement patterns, inflammation in the body, and nutrient availability. When you're young, all 4 of these are usually in good shape. So the synovial membrane is happy. It produces plenty of fluid. The fluid stays thick and protective. Your knees feel great. But after 50, all 4 of these factors typically decline. And when even one of them falls below the threshold, the synovial membrane responds by making less fluid, or by making fluid that's thinner than it should be. That's the real cause of your morning stiffness, not arthritis, synovial dysfunction. And the beautiful thing is, all 4 of those factors can be directly influenced by simple daily habits, which means your stiff knees can be directly improved by simple daily habits. But before I give you the protocol, I want to tell you about Dorothy. Dorothy is 67 years old, a retired nurse from upstate New York. She raised 4 children, she has 11 grandchildren, and up until about 5 years ago, she was the woman who walked 3 miles every morning before breakfast. But around 62, her knees started getting stiff in the morning, just a little at first. 5 minutes of stiffness, then 10, then 20. By 65, she'd stopped walking in the mornings. She was waiting until 10 a.m. for her knees to feel normal enough to move. By 66, she was using the handrail to get downstairs. She'd gained 15 pounds because she couldn't exercise the way she used to. Her doctor told her she had moderate arthritis, recommended weight loss, prescribed an anti-inflammatory, mentioned that eventually she might need knee replacements. Dorothy was terrified. Her mother had needed knee replacements at 70. Her mother had never fully recovered from the surgery. Dorothy had watched her mom go from independent to dependent in 5 years. She came to me because her daughter, who's a nurse practitioner, didn't accept the diagnosis. She told her mother, "Mom, this doesn't sound like arthritis to me. This sounds like something else." When I examined Dorothy, I noticed something her doctor had missed. Her knee joints didn't have the typical swelling pattern of arthritis. They had what I call dry crepitus, that crunching, grinding sound that comes from cartilage rubbing against cartilage without enough lubricating fluid. I asked her about her water intake. She drank maybe 2 glasses of water a day, mostly coffee. I asked her about her sleep position. She slept on her side, knees stacked on top of each other, compressing the joint space all night long. I asked her about her diet. Lots of processed food, very little omega-3. I asked her about her movement. She'd been sitting still for hours every evening watching television, then going straight to bed. We didn't change her diagnosis on paper. We just gave her a protocol, the same one I'm about to give you. 3 weeks later, she called me. "Dr. Mira, I walked half a mile this morning, before breakfast. My knees didn't crunch once." 6 weeks later, she was back to her 3-mile morning walks. 6 months later, she'd lost 18 pounds. Her doctor measured her range of motion. He said, and I quote, "Dorothy, your arthritis appears to have reversed itself." Her arthritis hadn't reversed itself because she didn't have arthritis to begin with. She had synovial dysfunction, and that we fixed. I want to mention one more patient before I give you the protocol. Her name is Helen. She's only 54, still working full-time at a law firm. Her stiffness wasn't quite as bad as Dorothy's, but she had a different problem. Her knees would get stiff again every time she sat for more than 30 minutes. She'd stand up from her desk to go to a meeting, and her knees would lock for the first few steps. That's the same problem, just compressed into a shorter window. When you sit still for 30 minutes, synovial fluid starts pooling. When you sit for hours, it really pools. When you sleep for 8 hours, it pools completely. Helen did the same protocol Dorothy did. Within 10 days, her sitting-related stiffness was almost gone. Within 3 weeks, she was completely back to normal. But Helen told me something that really stuck with me. She said, "Dr. Mira, the worst part wasn't the stiffness. The worst part was watching my husband watch me. He never said anything, but I could see him watching me struggle to get out of a chair. I could see him notice when I held the railing going down the stairs. He's 2 years older than me, and he was watching his wife start to look like an old woman, and there was nothing either of us could do about it." I want you to hear me very clearly right now. If you've been waking up stiff for years, if you've been holding handrails you didn't used to need, if you've been turning down invitations because you can't be on your feet for long, if you've been watching yourself get slower and stiffer and feeling like there's nothing you can do about it, I need you to know something. You are not broken. You are not falling apart. Your knees are not destined for surgery. You have been treated for the wrong problem with the wrong tools, and that is why nothing has been working. This isn't your fault. It's not because you didn't try hard enough. It's not because you didn't take the right supplements. It's because nobody in any of those 8-minute appointments ever stopped to ask the right questions or run the right tests. That changes today, right now. I want to mention one more thing about the science, because I want you to fully understand why this works. Your synovial membrane has receptors on it. Receptors are like little antennas. They pick up signals from your bloodstream and respond accordingly. The 2 most important receptors for joint health are inflammation receptors and movement receptors. When your inflammation receptors detect high inflammation, they tell the membrane, produce less fluid, slow down, conserve resources. This is an old survival mechanism from when your ancestors got injured. The body tries to protect a damaged joint by reducing fluid. When your movement receptors detect regular, gentle movement, they tell the membrane, produce more fluid, things are working well, keep going. This is also an evolutionary mechanism. Active joints need lubrication. So here's what's happening in modern life for someone over 50. You're walking around with chronic, low-grade inflammation from your diet, from stress, from environmental toxins, from sleep issues. Your inflammation receptors are firing constantly. So your synovial membrane is being told all day long, produce less fluid. At the same time, you're sitting more than you used to. You're moving less than you used to. So your movement receptors aren't firing nearly enough. Your synovial membrane isn't getting the signal to produce fresh fluid. It's a double hit. More inflammation, less movement. Both signals telling your joints to make less fluid. No wonder your knees are stiff. The protocol I'm about to give you reverses both of those signals. It reduces inflammation through diet and hydration, and it activates your movement receptors through specific, simple actions. Within days, your synovial membrane starts producing more fluid. Within weeks, the morning stiffness fades. Within months, your joints feel decades younger. That's not magic, that's biology, working the way it was designed to work once you give it the right inputs. I tell you all of this for one reason. Their biology is your biology. What worked for them will most likely work for you because the underlying cause is the same. Now, before I give you the protocol, you need to know what's making this worse. The 4 hidden mistakes you're making every night that are sabotaging your synovial fluid. Most of these will surprise you. Mistake number 1, sleeping on your side with your knees stacked. I know, this is most people's default position. It feels comfortable. But when you sleep with one knee directly on top of the other, you're compressing the joint space for 6 to 8 hours straight. The synovial fluid literally cannot circulate properly. By morning, your knees are bone dry in the most literal sense. The fix is simple. Put a pillow between your knees. A regular pillow. Just enough to keep the joint space open while you sleep. It feels weird for the first 3 nights. By night 4, you won't notice it. By night 7, you'll feel the difference in your morning stiffness. Mistake number 2, not drinking enough water in the evening. You've probably been told the opposite. Don't drink water before bed because you'll wake up to use the bathroom. But here's the thing, if your body is dehydrated when you go to sleep, your synovial fluid is also dehydrated, and you're going to have a much worse morning. The solution is to drink water steadily through the early evening. Stop about 90 minutes before bed. By the time you go to sleep, your body is hydrated, but you've had time to empty your bladder. Mistake number 3, eating an inflammatory dinner. Sugar, refined carbs, fried food, excessive alcohol, all of these increase systemic inflammation. And when there's inflammation in your bloodstream overnight, your synovial membrane responds by producing less fluid. Even one inflammatory dinner can affect your knees the next morning. If you've ever noticed that some mornings are dramatically worse than others, look at what you ate the night before. There's almost always a pattern. Mistake number 4, going straight from sitting to sleeping. If you sit on the couch all evening watching television, then go straight to bed, your knees have been in a bent, compressed position for 4 or 5 hours by the time you lie down. Then they stay still for another 8 hours overnight. That's 12 to 13 hours of no fluid circulation. The fix is to do just 2 minutes of gentle movement before bed. We'll get to exactly what kind of movement in the protocol. Now, finally, the protocol. This is the synovial reset protocol. It takes about 4 minutes total per day. It costs nothing, and it directly addresses the 4 factors that control your synovial fluid production. Morning, before you even get out of bed. Step 1, the 60-second bed cycle. While you're still lying in bed, before you put your feet on the floor, do this. Lie on your back. Slowly pull one knee toward your chest, then straighten it back out. Then pull the other knee toward your chest, then straighten it out. Do this for 60 seconds, slow, controlled movements. What's happening during these 60 seconds is your synovial fluid is being redistributed. The fluid that pooled in the lowest parts of your joint is being pumped back to where it needs to be. The cartilage is being rehydrated. By the time you actually stand up, your knees are 80% ready to walk. No more 20-minute warm-up. Throughout the day. Step 2, drink half your body weight in ounces of water. If you weigh 150 pounds, that's 75 ounces of water. Spread it through the day, not all at once. The goal is steady hydration so your synovial fluid stays thick and protective. Most people are walking around chronically dehydrated and don't even know it. Step 3, stand up and walk for 2 minutes every hour. Every single hour. Set a timer if you have to. Just 2 minutes of walking around. This breaks up the synovial fluid pooling that happens with prolonged sitting. It also signals your synovial membrane to keep producing fresh fluid. Evening, the critical window. Step 4, the 2-minute pre-bed knee routine. Right before you turn out the light, do this. Stand next to your bed. Hold on to something for balance. Do 10 slow knee bends, just bending and straightening. Then march in place for 30 seconds, lifting your knees just slightly. Then sit on the bed and do 10 slow ankle circles in each direction. Total time, about 2 minutes. What this does is fill your joints with fresh synovial fluid right before you sleep. So even though some of it will pool overnight, your joints start the night well lubricated. The morning stiffness drops by half. And one bonus tip for you, get some omega-3s into your daily routine, either through fatty fish 2 or 3 times a week, or a high-quality fish oil supplement. The exact dose depends on your doctor's guidance, but typically 2 to 3 grams a day of combined EPA and DHA is what the research shows works. Omega-3s directly reduce the inflammation that suppresses synovial fluid production. Within 30 days, you'll feel the difference. That's it. That's the whole protocol. The bed cycle in the morning, hydration through the day, movement breaks every hour, knee routine before bed, and omega-3s. Most people see real improvement within 7 to 10 days. By 30 days, the morning stiffness is largely gone. By 90 days, your knees feel decades younger. No pills, no surgery, no supplements you can't pronounce, just 4 small habits that talk directly to the system causing your problem. Before I let you go, I have 2 questions for you, and I really do read every comment. So please, take a moment and answer both. Question number 1, how old are you? Just the number. I tailor every video to the people watching. The more I know about my audience, the better I can help you. Question number 2, where are you watching from? Your city, your country? I love seeing where this community lives. And it actually matters for joint health because climate, humidity, and lifestyle vary so much around the world. One last thing, if anything in this video made you think, finally, someone is explaining this in a way that makes sense, please give it a thumbs up. That little blue button is how YouTube knows to show this to the next person who's been suffering with stiff knees and accepting the wrong diagnosis. Your one click could be the reason someone walks pain-free tomorrow. And tomorrow, come back, because we're going to decode another symptom that nobody is explaining correctly. The afternoon brain fog that hits you every day around 2 p.m. The kind where you walk into a room and forget why. The kind where you can't follow a conversation. Spoiler alert, it's not your blood sugar. And it's not dehydration, it's something completely different. And the fix takes 3 minutes. So subscribe, hit that bell, and come back tomorrow. Until then, I want you to try just one thing. Tonight, just the pillow between your knees. That's it. Tomorrow morning, see how you feel. I bet you'll be back to comment. And I want to leave you with one final thought. Your body is not your enemy. It never was. Even on the mornings when it feels stiff, slow, and uncooperative, it's still working for you. It's still trying to protect you. It's just sending out signals you haven't been able to interpret. That's what this channel is about, learning to interpret the signals, hearing what your body is actually telling you, and then giving it what it actually needs. You are not too old. You are not too far gone. You are not stuck with this. Your knees, your joints, your body, all of it has more capacity to heal than anyone has ever told you. The research on neuroplasticity, on tissue regeneration, on healing in older adults is far more hopeful than the conventional medical narrative would have you believe. Even at 70, even at 80, your body responds beautifully when you give it what it needs. So tonight, try the pillow. Tomorrow morning, try the bed cycle and see what happens. Give it 7 days. That's all I'm asking. 7 days of small, deliberate changes. And then come back here and tell me what shifted. I read those comments every single morning with my coffee, and your story might be the one that helps the next woman scrolling through her phone at 3 a.m. looking for answers nobody else is giving her. Sleep well tonight. Move gently tomorrow. And remember, the morning that's coming doesn't have to feel like the one you woke up to today. Take good care of yourself. I'll be right here tomorrow with the next piece of the puzzle.